Hi, I'm Kobi Penland, Tzedek's Holocaust Survivors Justice Network Administrator. In 2008, Tzedek Legal Services launched the Holocaust Survivors Justice Network, which I'm just going to refer to as the HSJN. We founded the HSJN when the German government introduced new reparations for Holocaust survivors. The HSJN sought to match social services organizations and their survivor clients with local law firms to provide free reparations assistance to Holocaust survivors in 30 cities internationally. This economic justice initiative recovered $25 million for survivors who had previously had their reparations applications denied time and time again. Now, as survivors' needs are changing, the HSJN has expanded its services to ensure that survivors have access to the legal assistance they need to age in dignity. The HSJN is now partnering with social services and local law firms across the country to provide free advanced planning services, government benefits appeals assistance, and housing preservation assistance. These services can be essential to survivors as they age. The vast majority of Holocaust survivors do not have an advanced healthcare directive or a simple will in place, as commonly end-of-life discussions have been viewed as off-limits since living and surviving have been the focus for survivors and their families. However, advanced planning is an important tool to make sure dignity is preserved in times of illness or incapacity. Research shows survivors, as a population, are at a higher risk of dementia than the general population due to their past trauma. Moreover, Holocaust survivors are significantly more likely than other older Americans to live in poverty, with about half of the estimated 125,000 survivors living in the United States qualifying as poor or low income. This means that having access to free legal services can be life-changing for many survivors. To lessen the stigma that surrounds end-of-life discussions, survivors can attend an HSJN informational presentation which explains the empowering benefits that advanced healthcare directives, wills, and powers of attorney for finance can offer. In addition, social workers have access to a training webinar that illustrates what these legal documents can do so that they feel more capable of having in-depth conversations with their clients. The HSJN is also pioneering person-centered, trauma-informed legal services for survivors. I'm going to refer to this concept as PCTI legal services to save some time. Tzedek requires all pro bono attorneys to complete PCTI trainings prior to their conducting informational presentations and advanced planning clinics. These trainings safeguard against survivors experiencing re-traumatization when accessing the free legal services offered by the HSJN. Tzedek also offers educational opportunities and technical assistance to social workers and attorneys to assist with time-sensitive government benefits issues as they arise. To combat the housing epidemic that low-income survivors are facing nationwide, Tzedek is currently recruiting pro bono attorneys to provide pro bono representation and will also partner with legal aid organizations to represent survivors in the midst of eviction proceedings. The HSJN conducted a nationwide needs assessment and found the following as being housing trends this specific project will address. Notice of exorbitant rent increases for survivors on fixed incomes, filing petitions in court against unresponsive landlords who ignore multiple repair requests, and making reasonable accommodation requests. The HSJN will facilitate the placement of housing cases as appropriate. Once the social services agency alerts the HSJN of a housing issue, we will place the case with a firm or legal aid organization and assist with the appointment process between the attorney and client. The amount of time a pro bono attorney will spend on an individual case is dependent on the nature of the issue, like most issues. Some may be resolved with a few phone calls, while others will take significantly more time and may include going to court. Prior to case placement, attorneys will receive training on the most prevalent housing issues facing survivors and best practices in handling these issues. The PCTI training is a live 30-minute webinar which details some of the best practices on providing legal services to survivors experiencing housing issues. Survivors can engage with legal services quite differently than the general older adult population, and it's the goal of the training to highlight some of the reasons for this, specifically in relation to housing insecurities. High rates of poverty among the survivor community has resulted in a large number of survivors having to rely on housing assistance programs like Section 8, which increases their vulnerability to lose their housing as market rates increase and continue to skyrocket. This involuntary loss of house and home can trigger traumatic memories of events survivors experienced during the Holocaust, when their forced removals from their homes often resulted in deportations to ghettos and concentration camps in the East. Additionally, being forced out of their homes, whether through an eviction or push-out process, can lead to being prematurely admitted into nursing homes, which are institutions rife with potentially triggering stimuli. Discussing these issues and small ways that pro bono attorneys can adapt their provision of services can make the attorney-client relationship smoother for both the survivor and the attorney, so it's a win-win. We can schedule the training for as many or as few attorneys as you'd like, and you can also schedule as many trainings as necessary if we are unable to find a time and date that works for everyone's schedules. Since its founding in 1974, Tzedek has honored the memory of those who perished in the Holocaust by protecting the rights of those who survived. These new HSJN programs will help us do just that. We look forward to partnering with you in this work, and thank you so much.